Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. Let's talk about Laura for a minute. The hell is going on with this character? I say that because the way she was acting towards Jordan, it seemed out of character. So Laura gets there and she's asking 50 million questions about what is Jordan doing there, why is she there, this, that, and the third. And eventually, Jordan tells her why she's there. You know, about her son and everything. And Jordan at the end is like, so, I'm hoping that, I'm still the commissioner. And Laura's like, well, you know what, the day's still young. And I'm like, I'm sorry, what? Did we not just hear the same conversation? She just told you why she's doing what she's doing. And you're still, looming over the possibility that Jordan can get fired. Are you kidding me? How much bad stuff have you done in your life? And you want to sit there and start judging her on what she's doing? And then she gets into this whole thing with how, she, had Portia involved or whatever. Like, Portia's in the loop. And, she's there for a reason. And, Laura's all like, oh, this isn't sanctioned, and this is bad, and yada, 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 and just really coming down on her. And I'm like, at this point, I'm just annoyed. I'm just annoyed at Laura's behavior towards Jordan after she told her everything. And I'm like, what's wrong with you? So finally, she starts acting like Laura again, and Curtis shows her something, and Laura looks at it and has this twitch in her eyebrow or whatever, and she's like, nope, I know who that is. So when she's about to leave, she's like, make sure you keep me in the loop, we gotta be on this 50-50, and, Curtis is like, same thing, and Laura's like, fine. And she goes outside and she makes a phone call, and she's like, we have a problem. Wow, Laura. Hasn't even been 5 minutes and you're already sitting up there not keeping them in the loop. When you literally just made that whole bravado about how, you want both of y'all to be working together. Like, are you kidding me? So I don't know what the hell is going on with Laura, but apparently she has some sort of connection with whoever Cyrus knows or is keeping captive or is protecting. I don't know, but she knows this person, and she's keeping them not in the loop, like she just said that she would. Awesome. So Lulu is talking to Maxie, and this whole time I feel like when she's telling Maxie about how they can't be back together, and, she has feelings for Dustin, and Dante pretty much made his choice, and, even though she wants to get back together with Dante, she doesn't know if it's going to last because the way that he disappeared on her the first time. And the whole time I'm sitting there thinking, you're just trying to rationalize your decision, You haven't sorted out your feelings, and I feel like at the end, you're just going to wind up hurting Dustin and Dante, and no one's going to be happy. Because even Maxie's like, you're not really telling me the whole thing, Like, how do you really feel about Dante? It's like she keeps denying her feelings, and it's just going to wind up blowing up in her face. Just going to wind up blowing up in her face. On the other side of town, Dante is going through Peter's files and stuff like that, and apparently he finds some sort of file, and he's making a copy of it, and Peter shows up, and Peter's like, "What are you doing?" Dante's like, "I'm doing what you're asking me to do." So he makes up some sort of fake, phony story about how there's some sort of attack going on, and with Peter as far as the internet's concerned or whatever, and, even though the IT department, kept him in the loop, he wanted to make sure that there wasn't a physical danger, so that's why he was there. Now, when he hears about this, I feel like Peter tried to not overreact. Like he didn't have anything to hide, and so he kind of just like played it cool. And with that being said, Dante walked out, and Peter gave him that look. And I felt like that look that Peter gave him was like, why would you be behind my computer? What is going on? You know? I can't tell, but I'm guessing that was the look that he gave Dante when he left. And then when Dante left, he got outside and he called. He was like, we got it. What's the next step? So, this whole thing for... This whole thing for as far as, Dante investigating Peter is still on. Now, let's talk about Sonny. So Sonny's sitting there talking to Jason, and, they're talking about... I don't really remember what they were talking about. I think it had a lot to do with Julian. And then Taggart showed up. And I'm not going to lie, when Taggart showed up at the door, Jason was just like, what are you doing here? So they're both, both having this look on their face, and Sonny's like, yo, the whole point of you keeping a low profile, the whole point of, me that they're trying to protect you is that you wouldn't get caught. And yet you are just out in broad daylight. But Taggart's like, what are we going to do about Julian? Because Julian knows me, what are we doing about this whole thing? Sonny's like, we got this covered. Then Cyrus walks in, into the, I guess, the restaurant or whatever. So Sonny comes out with Jason and tells Taggart to stay in the office. And Cyrus was like, give me one reason why I shouldn't go, we shouldn't just have a full-out war. So he's like, what are you talking about? And that's when Cyrus was like, yeah, I'm talking about talking about Lulu. Writing that little nasty article about me. Citing sources saying that, I'm trying to systematically cut out people that is connected to you and, you and your organization. And then he was also like, Lulu said that she had a source. And Jason was so tight. It's like, okay, Jason was mad, but he couldn't really show it. So, Jason, quick thinking was like, it's public record. It's public knowledge that, I have family members that work at GH that is connected. So, it didn't mean that it came from one of us. It could have came from anywhere. So he found a way to quickly, diffuse the situation because Lulu, in her infinite wisdom, was about to cause an all-out mob war because she wanted to get back, she wanted to get at Cyrus so bad that she used Jason to do it. I can understand why a lot of people do not like Lulu. I can understand why even Brock TV, because I was watching a little bit of his review yesterday, the minute he talked about Lulu, he just had a searing headache. And I'm like, yeah, I can understand that. Anyway, they managed to smooth, Jason and Sonny managed to smooth things over and avoid a all-out war. But I'm pretty sure one of them, if not both, are going to be sitting there talking to Lulu. What else? Let's talk about Anna. Anna decides to continue to lie to Peter because apparently she thinks that Peter is just too soft to handle the truth. Literally. I mean, I can sit there and go into the specifics, but that's really what it comes down to. And I'm sitting there thinking, you know what? Here's the thing. Anna, of course Anna is going to sit there and lie to Peter because Anna is lying to herself. I mean, she is really convinced that Alex is dead, even though there's no body. So, of course she's going to sit there and continue to lie to Peter. And when she was sitting there talking about this with Valentine was like, listen, you can't tell Finn either. Because if you're going to sit there and lie, you need to lie all the way. So that's what she's going to continue to do. Continue doing is just to sit there and keep lying. Awesome. Um, she has some interactions with Finn's dad. Nothing important. Um, Now Finn, no, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of did this again. So if I missed something, I apologize. Um, so Finn and Chase's dad comes to see Finn, and it's this really awkward conversation, like this really awkward feeling, this tension between them, and Chase is sitting there looking at both of them like he's a little kid that wants them to patch things up and work things out. And they talk for a little bit, and it's just awkward as hell. So, Finn's dad decides to leave, and then he comes back again when Anna's in the room. And he informs him that he's going to be staying for a little bit at the Metro Court, and, just to make sure that you're okay, and, probably talk to Jackie. Now, Chase and his dad talked a little bit, and Chase was like, why didn't you tell me that you were getting divorced? And his dad was like, and I say his dad a lot because I'm not going to lie, I don't really remember his name. It's like, well, we're kind of separated. We're not really at the divorce stage right now. We're just kind of separated. And I'm like, this is bad. Because y'all not even on the same page about what is going on in your relationship. So, yeah. I have... It's going to be interesting when Jackie comes back. Also, Finn and his dad talk about Violet and stuff like that. Just a way to try to, connect a little bit. Using Violet as a bridge. Because he's trying. He is really trying. It's going to be really interesting when the truth comes out. Because the reason of why he's pushing his dad away so much isn't because he remarried so much, but because of, the affair that Finn had with Jackie. So, it's going to be something. And yeah, I already talked about this. I really do hope that Lulu figures out her feelings with Dante, because it's just going to be really messy. What else we got going on? So Scott was sitting there talking. Well, Scott came over to Franco's house, and going over Franco's life insurance policy. Just to make sure everything's in order, and that in case his death, Liz and the boys can be taken care of. Now, Scott is worried because he feels like his son isn't telling him everything. And at first, he's like, do you have any enemies or anything like that? Are you sick? Like, what's going on? And, he's worried as hell. And Franco just doesn't tell him the whole truth. So after Scott leaves and Liz comes in the room, Franco tells her the whole truth, about the tumor and, everything. Which I'm really happy about, because I felt like they could have easily dragged this out. And it would have been months or weeks or whatever before, Liz learned the truth. So I'm sitting there thinking maybe they're taking a page from Days as far as not always necessarily drawing out stuff longer than it needs to be. Yep. And I just want to make sure that I kind of got everything out the way. As far as making sure I didn't miss anything. So with that being said, I think I just want to kind of quickly rant a little bit. The review's over, but I quickly want to rant about Jax and how he is wasted on the show. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because when I went to go get breakfast today, they had on Y&R, or Young and Restless. They had Margaret, like the actress that plays Margaret, she's on Y&R now, I think. And I was sitting there thinking how she was so wasted because she wasn't the one that brought down Sunny, and everything afterwards was just pointless, and she just became a wasted character. And when I was sitting there thinking about wasted characters, and I was watching, the Enter the GH, and I saw Jack's face, I was like, wow. Jax is being so wasted on this show. It's ridiculous. They finally managed to get him back. Because, over a course period of time, like years ago, whatever, when Jax used to come in, he would come in, he would do like a story, whatever, and then he would leave. And he would come back, and he would leave, and he would come back, and he would leave, or whatever. And they finally get him back, and they're not doing anything with him. So I really wish that they would give him something worthy of his character to do. Anyway, I kind of just want to vent about that a little bit. With that being said, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you thought of this episode. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Yeah. Have a good day, good night, be safe. I will catch you in tomorrow's review, which is probably going to be a little bit late because I have a doctor's appointment. So I'm going to wind up doing that after I get back.